All right, thanks a lot for being here today, guys. Just giving a brief presentation today about the world of professional public speaking. It's something that we actually see quite often, but a lot of people aren't really actually informed of how one becomes a professional public speaker and how some of like the economy, the skill sets that you need, and how to brandish yourself not only as like a person and a speaker, but a brand within itself. So to get us started, I have a couple quick pictures of just people that you may recognize. On the left, we have Eric Thomas. He's known as the hip-hop preacher. Eric's known because he doesn't really have any sort of formal education, but he has a lot of experience with like inner cities, has a very rough background story that he shares, and actually uses it as a tool to motivate and inspire people through his talks. And he actually has become quite wealthy from people basically paying him to come and speak at like a multitude of different events and things like that. On the right is Tony Robbins. He will not come and speak at an event for less than $100,000. A ticket to one of his events that he puts on can be upwards of like $2,000 a ticket. So what he has to say is found to be very valuable. And the picture here, he covers stress and depression in one of his speeches. He's not a clinical psychologist, nor does he have any sort of formal education in those areas. He is known as a life coach. And for a lot of people, you would think of, okay, well, why do we listen to a person that doesn't have the formal education or the background within like psychology to speak to us about depression and how to get over that? Well, with his various years of experience, not only, as a life coach, but also presenting to people and talking to people, he has basically created a name for himself as an expert within the field. Two others I'll briefly go over, Navy SEAL Jocko Willink, and then President Bill Clinton. We know Bill Clinton is the president, but now most of his time is actually done giving speeches around the U.S. to help fund for the Clinton philanthropy projects that they do off and on. And then Navy SEAL Jocko Willink has actually built his brand off of the back of his 20 years experience as a Navy SEAL. So now he actually goes to like businesses and corporations and gives leadership conferences. And a lot of times he's actually being sought after quite a bit to help improve the quality, improve the employee satisfaction, and basically their output as a company overall. And a quote I have here from Forbes, Dory Clark, he states that the professional speaking industry is broken down into two different tracks. So an example here is Jocko's, which is built upon by experience. He's not really a professional public speaker. He's not a celebrity in those terms. Bill Clinton, on the other hand, can be known a little bit more as a celebrity figure. Somebody that if he were to call you and say he wants to speak, you would more than likely be like, absolutely. What do we need to pay you? Jocko, on the other hand, has built much more of a repertoire just from his experiences, and like he's starting to actually build his brand up now along with his company. So how can one become a professional public speaker? Jeffrey Davidson says in his book, The Complete Guide to Public Speaking, whether or not you command a fee for your presentation, you need to get the word out about your speaking capabilities. So even if you might be a celebrity, you might not have a lot to say, or if you're not known to people, the majority of people within the community or within like the business area that you're a guru or an expert in, you have to get your name out there. You need to get your brand out there through basically repetition of speaking, through repetition of understanding your audience and how you can relate to them. Because a lot of times, you may have the expertise, but if you go into a corporate convention and you don't understand your audience, like most of these professionals do, everything you say just goes over your audience's head, or they may actually be offended that you're kind of waving your success around in their face. So it has to be very real, it has to be very broken down from that perspective as well too. And then so how do the professionals do it? So one thing we learn within our speech courses and just throughout life as well is that pathos, logos, and ethos. Basically, you connect with your audience emotionally. You verify not only what you're saying, but yourself with your audience based on your credentials and your ethics. And then you connect with your audience on a logical level as well too. So when you start breaking down those, and the professionals do it, in the best way, where they combine all three of those realms into a perfectly articulated speech, whether that would be a conference, whether it would be a keynote speaking or something like that. And like I said before, they create their own brand in a sense. They have to make deals with these people that ask them to come in to speak. They have to negotiate their prices, their times, and their dates. So the realm of public speaking, it's a fear that most of us have. But a very select few people have actually been able to make careers and make livings off of public speaking through understanding their audiences, understanding their field, whether it be business, education, anything like that, and they've been able to actually utilize their abilities of speaking and communication to help those and to build themselves. All right, guys, thanks for a lot for your time today, and I hope it went well.